Alright YouTube, what's up? It's Luke here. Today I wanted to do the third part of the review on this Mig200 by Weldpro. This thing has been really great for me. I've done a ton of projects, truthfully mostly with stick so far. Run stick, awesome. This thing is really reliable. Even on 110 volts, it's got plenty of power to run 1/8 inch rods. You don't have to worry about any of that. But today, the point of this video is I want to show you guys some wire process. Now, I've noticed a lot of questions on this welder online as far as like how to set up the wire feed system, what's going on with the rollers, how do you know how to adjust the tensioner, you know, stuff like that. So hopefully I can address a couple of those concerns today, and certainly when this is all done, you can leave me comments on this video and I'll be happy to respond to them. What I've got today is I've got some 70,000 pound tensile strength gas shielded, self-shielded wire. It's going to be in an 030 size, and I'll show you the setup for that in just a minute here. I'm excited to run this because I have a little bracket I'm going to build. Now, I've used this a couple times already, so I kind of know what I'm doing as far as setting it up, but I'll walk you through some of the parameter changes as well to select the right voltage and wire speed for the material size that you have. So today I'm going to be welding on like some 1/8 inch steel, just some angle. I have to make a little bracket for something, so I'm just going to seam the weld those together, and that'll really be it. So without further ado, let me show you just a couple things on this welder. Alright guys, I just want to give you a look inside of this thing with the wire setup and stuff like that. So basically, this could be a little confusing at first, especially if you've never dealt with a wire feed system before. So what they've got here is a single drive roll on the bottom, and that's sized for either 030 or 040 wire. There's a spring tensioner right here, and it does have indicators on it, which is good. And then the top is just a smooth roll. So it is important that you have this tension set correctly, and you want to make sure that your wire is sized correctly according to that drive wheel there. So other than that, your wire mounts right on the shaft. For a smaller spool like what I'm using today, there's just a little lock nut on there, and that keeps it on. Now there is a bigger hub, I have it stored down there in the bottom, and that's for if you're going to put like a big 10-pound spool or something like that. Alright, so when you set this up for MIG, one of the things you're going to have to do is put it into MIG mode. Now the sun's kind of bright here, so I'll shield it a little bit for you. You'll put it into MIG mode. The 2T and 4T are different trigger positions, whether like interlocking trigger. You do have a remote switch there, and then the menu button will become handy here very soon. So let me show you something here real fast. Alright, so I know it's really difficult to read displays on a camera, but right now I'm set at 16.6 volts and 182 wire speed. Okay, so here's the thing. When you start this machine, you may want a different wire speed versus voltage setting, you know, based off your own personal preference, or there's a chart inside of the door right here if you wanted to look at that. So in order to achieve that, what you need to do is go through this menu, okay, and then the first thing that's going to come up is a voltage percent. And what you can do is you can actually back this down or increase the percentage of voltage to wire speed. So for example, from the factory, this came set to where the wire speed was a little low compared to what I needed as far as voltage. So I decreased the percentage of voltage by 0.04%, or I'm sorry, 0.4%. And now I get my settings to where I want them, which is this 16.6 182 that I have right now. And that's what I'm going to feel comfortable running this inner shield 030 wire with. Alright, so hopefully that helps you understand a little bit of the setup. So I'm going to run in and change, and then I'll run this weld for you guys so you can see how well it does. Alright, so I've got my butt joint lined up here on my 2 pieces of angle iron. Now I'm going to just trim this later, so I want to get a nice weld on about 4.5 inches of this, and that's what I'm going to use to make my bracket. Now this material that I have here was previously powder coated, so I had to grind off some of that powder coating, and it was very difficult. What I've done for the point of this video is left some of that powder coating because I want you guys to see how well this welder will do, even working through some paint. So I'm going to go ahead and fire this up. Make sure that when you're working with something like this, particularly with flux, you have a drag angle. We don't want to push. If you push, you'll bury that flux underneath your weld, okay? So we're going to take it nice and slow, watch our weld puddle, and put a nice bead down on here. Alright, so far that's running pretty good. It's getting a little hot, but I don't mind that actually because I want some good penetration through there. What's interesting is that paint is having no effect on this self-shielded wire. The flux is coming up nice. There's no porosity in any of it. Looks great. Alright, we got a nice weld all the way to the end. I don't have a hammer with me. The flux ought to peel right off, which it does. And we're going to have a nice strong weld there for our little bracket. So this stuff is beautiful, runs great. You know, there are many settings on this welder that you can tweak. If you want to get it to sit in there a little flatter, if you'd rather have a little raised up convex surface on your weld, whatever you like. So overall, I think this is a really great machine. This MIG gun is very, very nice, very ergonomical. I love the relief that's on the bottom of it. And this welder just does a great job of adjusting settings on the fly to keep your wire standoff perfect and to keep your arc pool, and the weld pool running nice and smooth. Alright YouTube, so as you can see, this thing runs that self-shielded wire really nice. When you get a nice 75-25, 80-20 blend of argon gas and you're running some solid wire, runs awesome as well. In the future, I'll try and post another video, maybe even doing some stainless or something like that, because I know this machine would be capable of it. It's a very, very nice machine. So again, this has been my third part of the MIG200GD review. If you guys have any questions on this MIG process, particularly setup, settings, having some trouble with it running, it's not running right, feel free to let me know. I'll be glad to help you guys out with that because I'll tell you what, for me it runs beautiful. So, alright, that's all I've got. Thanks again. As always, please subscribe. Really appreciate it. It helps to support me. And hope you guys have a wonderful day. We'll see you soon.